The Zolari capital shone like a jewel under the twin suns, its tall towers glimmering with polished metal and crystal. Streets stretched out like rivers of light, crowded with alien citizens of every shape and size. Among them, Queen Lyvara moved with grace and purpose, her many eyes reflecting calm intelligence. She had ruled the Zolari Empire with wisdom for decades, earning respect not through fear, but through fairness and vision. Yet today, the queen's mind was uneasy. She felt a subtle tension in the palace, a small shift in the way her guards moved. Though they had served her loyally for years, Lyvara sensed that something was wrong. She trusted them, yet a quiet alarm whispered that not all hearts remained true. Inside the palace, the grand halls were alive with the hum of activity. The walls shimmered with light, powered by the mysterious energy crystals that fueled the city. Servants floated through the corridors, attending to their duties, while armored guards patrolled silently, eyes sharp for any sign of danger. Queen Lyvara walked with measured steps, heading toward her council chamber, unseen to the queen. 3 of her guards whispered together in a hidden corridor. Their voices were low, tense, and full of malice. "Tonight," one said, "we take what is ours. The queen has ruled too long. We deserve the throne." Another nodded, a cruel grin spreading across his face. "We strike during the evening ceremony. No one will expect betrayal from those who serve her most." Lyvara paused outside the council chamber, her instincts screaming at her. She knew her guards would never betray her, yet a shadow of doubt lingered. Stepping into the chamber, she found it strangely empty. Her council, usually present and ready for discussion, were gone. Confused, she called out softly, "Where is everyone?" No answer came. A chill ran down her spine. The doors slammed shut behind her, and she spun round to find the 3 guards blocking the exits. Their weapons gleamed with lethal precision. One stepped forward, his voice cold. "Lyvara, your time as queen is over." Lyvara's heart sank, but her mind remained sharp. She realized quickly that she had been betrayed by those she trusted most. She had to escape. Her survival meant not only her life, but the future of her people. Using her agility and the palace's familiar layout, she darted toward a narrow corridor. The guards followed, firing stun beams that sizzled past her. She ducked, rolled, and sprinted, her long limbs carrying her faster than her pursuers expected. Each step was measured, each move calculated. She had faced many dangers in her life, but never betrayal so close to her heart. Outside, the palace garden stretched under the fading sun, alien plants glowing softly in the twilight. Lyvara leaped over crystalline fountains, narrowly avoiding guards who lunged at her. The city beyond the walls was alive with the evening crowd, unaware of the crisis unfolding at the heart of the empire. From a nearby observation post, a human soldier watched the palace carefully. Captain Marcus Kane, stationed on Zelara as part of a peacekeeping mission, had been observing the city for weeks. Humans were considered unusual here, predictable to aliens in some ways, yet capable of bold unpredictability. Marcus had learned to use his wits and instincts to survive in strange environments, and today, his training would be tested. He saw the flash of energy beams and the graceful figure of Lyvara sprinting through the gardens. At first, he hesitated. Intervening in alien political matters was risky, but something in the Queen's movement, her determination, her courage stirred a response he could not ignore. Marcus decided he would act using his small, portable hoverbike. Marcus approached quickly but silently. He knew that direct confrontation could be dangerous, so he relied on diversion. With a quick gesture, he activated a small drone that emitted bright light and distracting sounds. The guards turned their attention, scanning for the unexpected intrusion. Lyvara, noticing the sudden distraction, adjusted her path. She ran toward an alley that would lead her to a hidden passage beneath the palace, one known only to the royal household. The guards hesitated, confused by the sudden interference, and Marcus seized the moment. He intercepted the nearest guard, using a combination of human strength and training to knock the alien off balance, without harming him severely. The other 2 guards turned, weapons raised, but Marcus was ready. He ducked, rolled, and used his environment to block them with overturned garden sculptures and glowing plants. "Follow me," Marcus shouted, his voice steady but urgent. Lyvar glanced at him, her many eyes wide with surprise. She had heard of humans' courage and cleverness, but never expected one to intervene in her time of need. Without hesitation, she ran beside him, trusting him despite the strangeness of his presence. They dashed into the hidden passage, a network of tunnels used in emergencies. The walls glowed faintly, powered by the palace's energy system, guiding their way through twists and turns. Lyvar's breathing was steady, her mind already planning the next steps. Marcus, despite being human and far from home, felt a surge of confidence. He knew that humans had a way of surviving even in impossible situations. In the dim light of the tunnel, the queen finally spoke. "You have courage, human." Most would have turned away. Marcus shrugged, trying to hide his own nerves. "I didn't have much choice. If you fall, this city loses more than a ruler. It loses hope." Lyvar studied him for a moment, then nodded. There was a spark of trust forming, fragile but real. Together, they continued deeper into the passage, careful to avoid traps and sensors left by the traitor's guards. Marcus used his knowledge of alien tech to disable a few minor alarms, while Lyvara's intuition guided them safely through turns that could have led to dead ends. Outside the palace, the city continued its evening routines. Citizens wandered the streets, unaware that their queen's life hung by a thread. Marcus felt a strange connection to this world, a sense that humans could make a difference anywhere, even on a planet so far from Earth. He marveled at the alien architecture, the flowing energy bridges, and the glowing flora. Yet his focus never wavered from protecting the queen. Finally, they reached a safe chamber hidden beneath the city. It was small, with walls lined in soft light and alien symbols that Lyvar recognized as protective. She leaned against the wall, catching her breath, while Marcus checked the entrance for signs of pursuit. "You saved me," Lyvar said quietly, almost to herself. Her voice carried gratitude, but also a hint of wonder. "I have faced many enemies, but your courage, it is unlike anything I have seen." Marcus smiled, a little awkwardly. "I've learned humans have a few tricks up their sleeves, and sometimes we don't give up when it matters most." Lyvar studied him closely. For the first time in many years, she felt a spark of hope. She realized that humans, with their resilience, creativity, and determination, could become allies in ways she had never imagined. If this one human could stand against her own guards, what could humanity achieve with the right purpose? As night fell over the Zolari capital, the queen and the human soldiers sat in the quiet chamber. Outside, danger still lurked. The traitor's guards would not give up easily, and the city itself was at risk of falling into chaos. Yet in this moment, an unlikely partnership had been born, one that might change the fate of a civilization. Marcus looked at Lyvara and spoke with quiet determination. "We'll get through this, together." The queen nodded, her mind already racing with plans. "Yes, together. But first, we must survive the night." And so, in the shadows beneath the shining city, the stage was set. Betrayal had struck at the heart of the empire, but courage had found a way to fight back. The journey ahead would test both human and alien alike. But one thing was certain: bravery, ingenuity, and loyalty could bridge even the greatest of differences. The night was far from over, but hope had found a champion in a human soldier, and perhaps, in the most unlikely of places, the Zolari queen had found a friend. The hidden chamber beneath the Zolari palace was small, dimly lit by glowing crystals embedded in the walls. The soft light gave the room an almost magical quality, yet neither Lyvar nor Marcus had time to admire it. Outside, the city slept under the calm glow of the twin moons. Unaware that the queen's life hung in the balance, Marcus leaned against the wall, checking the small energy device he carried. "They'll follow us," he said. "They won't give up easily." Lyvar nodded, her many eyes narrowing in thought. "I know, my guards, the ones who betrayed me. They will not rest until I am gone. And they are clever, far too clever." Marcus studied her carefully. "Then we need a plan. You and I, we need to use what they don't expect. You know the palace, the city. I know people, tactics, and ways to improvise. Together, we can stay ahead. The queen's gaze softened, a flicker of admiration showing in her eyes. She had faced countless battles, led armies, and negotiated peace treaties with other alien civilizations. Yet the presence of a human soldier, someone from a species she barely understood, brought an unexpected hope. There was something unpredictable about humans, something she had never seen in the loyal but predictable Zalari guards. We will move carefully, Livara said finally. We cannot risk alerting the city authorities yet. If they discover my disappearance, panic may spread. Marcus nodded. Then we need to be ghosts tonight. Shadows moving through the city, avoiding attention, striking only when necessary. The queen rose gracefully and approached a holographic map of the city, projecting from the crystal walls. She traced the route they had taken, marking exits, secret passages, and weak points in the palace defenses. If we move through the lower tunnels, we could reach the market district, she explained. From there, I know a safe house. My advisors can hide there while we plan our next move. Marcus smiled slightly. Then that's where we're heading. And if they try to follow, I have ways to slow them down. The two of them slipped out of the chamber quietly, moving through the narrow tunnels that snaked beneath the city. Livara's movements were elegant and precise, her training allowing her to navigate in near darkness. Marcus, human but highly trained, followed closely, using shadows to remain unseen. Above them, the palace guards scoured the gardens, frustrated by the sudden disappearance of the queen. They had expected her to flee predictably, but her path was anything but ordinary. Marcus had already begun setting small traps using minor energy devices to create noise, confuse sensors, and mislead the guards. One corridor led to a junction, and Marcus stopped. Wait, he whispered. They could be ahead. Let me check. He knelt, pressing a small device against the wall. A faint pulse traced the metal in the corridor. Marcus's brow furrowed. Two guards, armed, heading this way. Livara's many eyes widened slightly. Then we must split? Marcus shook his head. No, we stick together. Trust me. He activated a small smoke device, filling the corridor with a harmless but dense mist. The guards would see shapes, hear sounds, but not be able to track them accurately. Marcus grabbed Livara's arm and pulled her into a side tunnel. The guards stopped, confused, firing sporadic beams that hit the walls harmlessly. Livara's admiration for Marcus grew. His mind was quick, creative, and fearless. Humans were unpredictable in ways that Zalari soldiers rarely considered. Marcus led her through the tunnels, using small ledges and maintenance shafts that the palace guards never checked. Finally, they emerged near the market district. The streets were quieter now, the evening crowd thinning as citizens returned to their homes. Marcus and Livara blended into the shadows, moving silently past glowing stalls and alien vendors who were unaware of the danger so close. We should be safe here, Marcus said quietly, but we cannot stay long. They will search for you, and they will widen the net if they think you've escaped. Livara nodded, her mind racing. Then we must prepare. If my guards are clever, they will anticipate the tunnels, the safe house, even the city streets. We must be cleverer. Marcus grinned slightly. That's where humans come in. The queen looked at him, puzzled. Explain? Humans think differently, Marcus said. We improvise. We don't always follow patterns. We adapt. That's why I can keep us ahead of your guards. They expect precision and rules. I bring chaos. Livara considered this. For years, the Zalari Empire had prided itself on order, strategy, and careful planning. Yet she had underestimated unpredictability. Perhaps this human, this strange creature from another world, had qualities that even her most loyal advisors could not match. As they moved through the district, they found an abandoned warehouse near the river that flowed through the city. Marcus checked the entrances carefully. We can hide here for a while. They'll be less likely to search this place immediately. Then we can plan our next move. Inside the warehouse, crates and supplies provided cover. Livara leaned against a stack of metal containers, studying Marcus. You fight differently than my soldiers. Faster, more creative. You use your environment. Marcus shrugged. It's instinct. Humans survive because we think fast, move fast, and sometimes do the unexpected. In a straight fight, I might lose. But in a fight of minds and movement, that's where we have the advantage. Livara's eyes reflected a mixture of fascination and hope. Perhaps, she thought, humans were a species to respect, to trust, and even to rely on in ways she had never imagined. Hours passed. The city quiet under the twin moons. Marcus took the opportunity to learn more about the situation. Tell me about these guards, he said. Why betray you? Livara's expression darkened. Power, greed. They believe that with me gone, they could control the empire. They are clever, trained, and ambitious. But they underestimate what they face when they meet courage they cannot predict. That is where you come in. Marcus smiled faintly. Then we'll make sure they underestimate us. That's a human specialty. Together, they went over a rough plan. Livara's knowledge of palace layouts, guard rotations, and city infrastructure combined with Marcus's ingenuity and improvisation skills created a strategy neither could have achieved alone. They would move at night, avoid detection, and gather allies among those still loyal to the Queen. Livara asked, "Do you think we can win?" Marcus looked at her with steady eyes. "I don't think. I know. Humans don't give up, and with you by my side, I bet everything we can succeed." The Queen's respect for Marcus deepened. She realized that courage and loyalty were not bound by species. Humans, despite their small numbers compared to her empire, possessed something unique, an unyielding spirit that could turn impossible odds into opportunity. Hours later, when the first light of dawn began to touch the city's tallest towers, Marcus and Livara slipped out of the warehouse. The city was awakening, unaware of the drama that had unfolded beneath its streets. Using rooftops, side streets, and abandoned alleys, they moved toward a hidden location where a few trusted allies of the Queen were waiting. Marcus paused on a rooftop, looking down at the city below. "You know," he said, "I've been on many missions. I've fought in countless situations. But this feels different. This isn't just survival. This is about showing what humans can do when we refuse to back down." Livara looked at him, her eyes reflecting the rising sun. "Your courage gives me hope, not only for my life but for my people. Perhaps humans are more remarkable than I ever imagined." They reached the safe house, a modest but secure location where a small group of loyal advisors awaited. Livara was quickly briefed on the situation, while Marcus explained his observations and suggested strategies. The advisors listened carefully, impressed by his cleverness and decisive thinking. By the time the sun fully rose over the twin horizons, a plan had begun to take shape. Marcus's unique perspective, combined with Livara's knowledge and the loyalty of her allies, gave them a fighting chance. They would strike at the traitors with intelligence, speed, and unpredictability, the qualities that made humans formidable. Livara felt a renewed sense of purpose. With this human soldier at her side, she was not alone. Together, they would reclaim her throne, protect her people, and show the city that courage and loyalty could overcome even the darkest betrayal. And for Marcus, it was a revelation. Humans, small and often underestimated, could make a difference across the stars. In the heart of an alien empire, he had proven that courage, ingenuity, and determination were universal strengths, ones that could turn the tide. In the most desperate moments, as the day began, the city remained peaceful, but beneath the calm surface, the stage was being set. The Queen and the human soldier were ready. Together, they would show the Zolari Empire that the unpredictable strength of a human mind could challenge even the most calculated treachery. And so, their journey continued, one of courage, strategy, an unlikely alliance where the heart of humanity shone brightly in the shadow of betrayal. The city streets of Zalara were quiet beneath the twin moons, but beneath the surface, a hidden world thrived. Tunnels, passageways, and secret chambers formed a labyrinth that only a few knew existed. This was where Queen Livara and Captain Marcus Kane had taken refuge, far from the palace and the guards who had betrayed her. Livara surveyed the dimly lit chamber they had entered. Ancient markings lined the walls, glowing faintly with protective energy. It was a place known only to the Queen and her most trusted allies. Here, they would plan their next move, and here, Marcus would learn the importance of strategy in an alien world. We cannot confront them directly, Livara said, tracing her fingers along the glowing symbols. They are strong, trained, and well-armed. But we can outthink them, Marcus nodded, leaning against a crate. Then we use brains, not brawn. And we use what they don't expect humans do that naturally. The Queen looked at him, curiosity and admiration in her eyes. Humans were small in number, yet their minds seemed capable of seeing opportunities that even the cleverest Solari could miss. Marcus's courage and resourcefulness had already saved her life. Now, it was time to see how far it could go. Livara led him deeper into the tunnels, where a small group of loyal citizens awaited. They were a mix of engineers, former guards, and palace servants, each dedicated to protecting the Queen and the city. Some had feared for their lives when the betrayal happened, but the arrival of Marcus gave them renewed hope. "This is Captain Marcus Kane," Livara announced. "He saved me when I was attacked. He is clever, brave, and quick. We can trust him." The group exchanged cautious glances, some skeptical of a human, others intrigued. Marcus stepped forward, bowing slightly. "I am here to help. I may not know all of your ways, but I know how to fight, how to plan, and how to survive. Together, we can protect the Queen and reclaim the city from the traitors." A murmur of approval ran through the group. Livara smiled faintly. Trust would take time, but Marcus had already earned respect. They gathered around a holographic map of the city, projected from a small device Marcus had carried with him. The palace was heavily guarded, with patrols covering every street. But the city itself was not entirely under the traitors' control. Many citizens remained loyal to Livara, quietly resisting the corruption that had begun to spread. "We will divide our efforts," Livara explained. "Some will secure the safe zones, others will gather intelligence, and a few under Marcus's guidance will set traps and diversions for the palace guards." Marcus studied the map carefully. "We'll need to move quickly, strike smart, and never give them a predictable pattern. Solari soldiers are trained to anticipate routine. If we break that routine, we have the advantage." The Queen's eyes reflected a mixture of admiration and thoughtfulness. Humans had a way of thinking that was almost alien in itself. Their creativity, their willingness to act without fear, and their ability to improvise were traits that her empire rarely saw, and perhaps she realized they could be the key to survival. As the night deepened, Marcus and the resistance prepared. Small devices were hidden along narrow corridors, pressure plates set to alert them to movement, and holographic decoys placed to confuse the traitors' patrols. Livara instructed the engineers to strengthen the tunnel's entrances, ensuring that they could hold out even if discovered. Finally, Marcus gathered the group. "Remember," he said, his voice steady and commanding, "we're not just fighting guards. We're fighting fear. They expect people to run, to panic. But we don't. We stay calm, think fast, and move together. That's how humans win, and now, how we win together." The Queen observed him, feeling a sense of hope she had not felt since the betrayal began. She realized that Marcus's presence was more than just physical protection. It was a symbol. Humans, she thought, could stand against the impossible. Hours passed, and Marcus took the time to train the resistance in tactics they had never used before. Simple things at first: movement through shadows, communication without sound, using the environment as a weapon. But they quickly adapted. Alien minds, when guided by human ingenuity, could learn to fight in ways that surprised even the most experienced Solari. One of the young engineers asked, "Captain Kane, how do you know what to do in situations like this?" Marcus smiled faintly. "Experience, observation, and trust in your own abilities. Humans survive because we find a way, even when it seems impossible. We don't always follow the rules, they slow us down. We improvise. That's our advantage." Livara watched as the group trained. She realized that courage was contagious, and Marcus's human confidence had inspired the others. Even the most fearful among them began to move with purpose, their fear replaced with determination. Suddenly, a soft vibration ran through the floor. One of the engineers froze. "Sensors, someone is approaching." Marcus motioned for silence. The group held their breath, hiding behind crates and walls. Two guards entered the tunnel, their weapons scanning the shadows. Marcus whispered instructions quickly, and the resistance executed a simple but effective trap. A small panel shifted, sending a burst of harmless smoke into the corridor. The guards coughed, their vision obscured. Marcus and Livara slipped past them, deeper into the tunnels, leading the guards away from the main group. "They'll never expect this," Marcus whispered, smiling. "Humans don't move like Zeleri." "We confuse them," Livara nodded, impressed once more. "Your methods. They are unconventional, yet effective. I am learning from you as much as they are." As they moved further, they reached a larger chamber where the city's underground network expanded. Here, more loyal citizens awaited, quietly preparing supplies, medicine, and communication tools. Marcus observed their work, noticing the efficiency that came from combining human improvisation with Zeleri discipline. "We must strike soon," Livara said. "The traitors will consolidate their power if we wait too long. We need to show them that they cannot control the city without resistance," Marcus agreed. "But we do it smart. Quick strikes, distractions, and retreats. We hit them where they are weak and vanish before they can respond. That's how humans survive in enemy territory." Livara studied him, realizing how much the human had changed the dynamics of the underground resistance. Without him, the group would have been cautious, slow, and reactive. With him, they were proactive, bold, and confident. The night continued with careful planning. Marcus instructed the group on communication signals, escape routes, and improvised traps. Livara shared her knowledge of the palace and the traitors' guards, pointing out patterns in their patrols, weaknesses in their routines, and areas of the city they could influence. As dawn approached, Marcus and Livara stepped aside to review the plan in private. "We've done what we can for now," Marcus said. "Tomorrow, we begin the first strike. And remember, humans never give up. We find a way, even when it seems impossible." Livara looked at him, a mixture of determination and admiration in her eyes. "Your courage and cleverness give me hope. Perhaps humans are not only brave but essential allies. Your presence here, it may change the course of this empire." Marcus smiled faintly. "We'll see. For now, we prepare. Tomorrow, we fight not just for you, but for everyone who believes in justice." That night, the underground tunnels were alive with quiet activity. The resistance moved with purpose, each member knowing their role, each member inspired by the courage of the human soldier among them. Marcus walked through the tunnels, observing, advising, and sometimes simply nodding encouragement to those who faltered. Livara felt a strange sense of calm for the first time since the betrayal. She had faced danger before, but never like this, never with allies who move as one, led by someone who brought courage, ingenuity, and unpredictability to the fight. Humans, she realized, had something unique, a spark that could turn despair into hope. As the first light of the twin suns touched the city above, Marcus and Livara prepared to move. The time for hiding was over. The resistance would rise, striking at the traitors with intelligence, skill, and courage. And so, the stage was set. In the shadowed tunnels beneath the Zeleri city, humans and aliens worked together, united by purpose and courage. They would face impossible odds, but with careful planning and daring action, they could change the fate of the empire. The betrayal that had shaken the queen to her core had also sparked something greater: the formation of an underground resistance, guided by human ingenuity and alien loyalty. Together, they would show that courage, creativity, and determination could overcome even the darkest treachery. And Marcus Kane, the human soldier far from home, would lead them, proving once again that human spirit could shine in the most unlikely places. The first rays of the twin suns barely touched the city as Marcus Kane and Queen Livara moved through the underground tunnels with the rest of the resistance. The air was tense with anticipation. Tonight was not a night for hiding. Tonight, they would strike. Marcus stopped at a junction, looking at the queen. "This is it," he said. "Once we move, there's no turning back. We strike smart, hit fast, and disappear before they can respond. Stick close, follow my lead, and remember, unpredictability is our strongest weapon." Livara nodded, her eyes reflecting determination. I understand. We must reclaim the palace, my advisors, and the city's trust. For too long, fear has ruled. The resistance moves silently, each member carrying tools, devices, and weapons designed to disable without harming unnecessarily. Marcus had taught them human tactics, use the environment, create distractions, and never allow the enemy to predict your next move. They emerged from the hidden tunnels into a service corridor beneath the palace. Above them, the city remained unaware of the storm about to unfold. Marcus crouched behind a maintenance hatch, scanning the guards' patrol patterns. 2 guards were moving in a slow, deliberate rhythm. Marcus held up his hand, signaling the resistance to freeze. He whispered to Livara, "We'll start by creating diversions. I'll take the left, you move right. When they react, we strike." The queen inclined her head, trusting the human's plan. Marcus moved quickly and silently, placing small noise devices along the corridors. A soft series of pulses would lure the guards away, leaving their stations unprotected. Moments later, the devices activated, creating sounds of movement, clanking metal, and footsteps echoing in empty halls. The traitor's guards rushed to investigate, leaving their posts unattended. Marcus signaled the queen, and she led a small team toward the armory. The resistance moved with precision, disabling security panels, cutting off communication lines, and setting minor traps to slow down any reinforcements. Marcus paused to check one panel. "Perfect," he whispered. "They won't know what hit them." Suddenly, a patrol appeared ahead. Marcus signaled to the team to hide. Using shadows and timing, he leaped from cover, creating a brief distraction that sent the guards spinning. Livara moved with grace, her training allowing her to disarm one of the guards without serious injury, showing that she could fight as cleverly as the humans. Marcus and the queen met near the armory doors. Marcus gestured toward the door. "Inside. Weapons, armor, whatever we can use. We may need every advantage." They entered cautiously. The armory was well stocked, rows of alien weaponry glinting under soft lights. Livara scanned the inventory, selecting tools for the resistance. Marcus adjusted human devices to work with the alien systems, ensuring that every member would have what they needed. When they finished, Marcus led the team toward the palace's inner halls. Their plan was to confront the traitor's guards directly, but only when the odds favored them. Speed, surprise, and clever tactics were their allies' dot as they approached the throne room. A loud alarm blared. The traitors had realized the palace was being infiltrated. Marcus signaled the resistance to spread out, creating confusion among the guards. Using smoke devices, flash pulses, and quick movements, the humans and aliens struck from unexpected angles. One guard charged toward Marcus, weapon raised. Marcus ducked and rolled, grabbing the guard's energy baton and redirecting him into a wall. Livara disarmed another, using precise movements to ensure no serious harm. Showing her skill in both leadership and combat, the resistance moved like a storm, swift and coordinated. Guards were confused, outmaneuvered, and forced to retreat. Marcus's strategy of unpredictability worked perfectly. The traitors could not anticipate the combination of human ingenuity and alien knowledge working together. Finally, Marcus and Livara reached the throne room. The traitors' guards had gathered, preparing to make a final stand. Their leader, a tall, imposing figure, stepped forward. "Queen Livara," he sneered, "you are too late. Your followers are scattered, and the city will soon fall. Surrender or face defeat." Livara's voice was calm but firm. "You have betrayed your own people, and you will not succeed. Courage and loyalty are stronger than treachery." Marcus stepped beside her. "And humans never back down. You've underestimated us, and that's your mistake." The battle began. Marcus and Livara coordinated with the resistance, striking quickly, moving unpredictably, and forcing the guards into chaos. Marcus used simple but effective tactics, feints, rapid movement, and environmental traps. The Solari guards were strong, but they were trained to fight predictably. The human unpredictability, combined with the queen's strategy, gave them the upper hand. Livara moved through the room with skill, disabling guards, blocking attacks, and rallying the resistance. Marcus ducked and rolled, using walls, columns, and furniture to gain advantage. Together, Human and Queen formed a team neither the guards nor the palace had ever seen. One guard tried to flank Marcus, but a resistance member activated a device that created a bright flash, blinding him temporarily. Marcus used the moment to disarm the guard, ensuring no serious harm, and redirect him toward a holding chamber. The leader of the traitor's guards realized the tide was turning. "Retreat!" he shouted, but his men were disorganized. Marcus and Livara pressed forward, never giving them a chance to regroup. Finally, the leader faced the Queen directly. Livara stepped forward, unafraid. "It ends here. You will answer for your betrayal." Marcus flanked the leader, keeping him off balance. The leader's weapon hummed, ready to strike, but Marcus anticipated every movement, using his human reflexes to evade and redirect the attack. Livara disarmed him with a precise maneuver, showing that courage and intelligence could overcome raw strength. The remaining guards, seeing their leader captured and the palace overrun, surrendered. The resistance secured the inner palace, restoring order room by room. Marcus and Livara moved through the halls, ensuring no threats remained by sunrise. The palace was fully under Livara's control again. Her advisors were freed, and the loyal citizens returned to their posts. The Queen stood on the balcony overlooking the city, her expression calm and resolute. Marcus joined her. "It's done," he said, a hint of relief in his voice. Livara turned to him, admiration clear in her eyes. "Thanks to you, the palace and the empire survive. Your courage, cleverness, and determination have changed everything." Marcus shook his head. "We did it together. Humans are strong, yes, but so are your people. We combined our strengths and succeeded. That's what matters." The city below began to stir. Citizens came out, cheering quietly as word spread of the Queen's safe return. The betrayal that had threatened to destroy the empire had been overturned by courage, intelligence, and an unlikely alliance. Livara addressed her advisors and the resistance. "Tonight, we have seen that courage is not limited to one species. Humans have shown us their strength. Together, we can overcome any threat, no matter how great." Marcus smiled, watching the scene. Humans had always been underestimated, yet here, in the heart of an alien empire, their determination and ingenuity had turned the tide. He felt a quiet pride, proof that courage, loyalty, and clever thinking could make a real difference anywhere in the universe. As the sun fully rose, the city returned to a fragile calm. The palace was secure, the traitors captured, and the Queen once more in her rightful place. Marcus and Livara knew this was only the beginning. The empire would need rebuilding, trust restored, and vigilance maintained. But for now, they had one. Livara turned to Marcus one last time. "Your presence here has proven something I did not fully understand. Humans are remarkable, brave, clever, and unyielding. You have earned the trust and respect of my people." Marcus nodded humbly. "I only did what humans do. We find a way, even when the odds are impossible. And sometimes we do it together with others like you." The Queen smiled, her many eyes reflecting pride and hope. "Then together, we will ensure that betrayal never threatens this empire again." In the heart of the Zolari Palace, under the rising twin suns, the human soldier and the alien Queen stood side by side. The counterstrike had been successful, proving the value of courage, intelligence, and teamwork. The city had survived treachery, and a new alliance, human and alien, had been forged in the fires of challenge. And though the future would hold more tests, one truth was clear: human courage could shine brightly, even in the most unlikely and dangerous places, turning despair into hope and changing the course of history. The Zolari capital shone brilliantly under the morning light of the twin suns. Its towers reflected gold and crystal, streets sparkled with energy, and for the first time in days, the city felt safe. Queen Livara stood on the palace balcony, looking out over her people with calm resolve. Behind her, Captain Marcus Kane, the human soldier who had become her unlikely ally, surveyed the scene with quiet satisfaction. The betrayal that had shaken the heart of the empire had been overturned. The traitors' guards had been captured, their schemes exposed, Citizens slowly emerged into the streets, curiosity and cautious relief written across their faces. The palace had survived, and so had hope. Livara turned to Marcus. Thanks to you, the Empire has survived a darkness I feared could not be overcome. Humans. You are more remarkable than I imagined. Marcus shook his head with a humble smile. I didn't do it alone. Your leadership, your wisdom, and the courage of your people made this possible. I just helped where I could. The queen studied him, thoughtful. She had seen many soldiers, many leaders, and many advisors in her long life. But Marcus was different. He did not rely on brute force alone. He combined intelligence, adaptability, and courage. And above all, he inspired others, alien and human alike, to act beyond fear. Your people have qualities we rarely see in the galaxy, she said. Strength, yes, but also unpredictability, courage, and loyalty. I now understand that humans can shape outcomes far beyond their numbers. Marcus's eyes flickered toward the city. Humans survive by thinking fast, adapting, and working together. And we've learned that courage is stronger when it's shared. That's what this city has shown us all. Livara nodded, turning back to the city. Then we must ensure that this alliance continues. Humans will not only be welcome here, but their insight will help our empire grow stronger, wiser, and safer. Inside the palace, the queen held an assembly of loyal citizens, advisors, and members of the underground resistance. The chamber buzzed with energy and relief. Many had feared that the betrayal would permanently fracture the empire. But now there was a renewed sense of unity. Livara addressed the assembly, her voice strong and clear. We have survived treachery because we acted together, alien and human alike. We have demonstrated that loyalty and courage are more powerful than fear and greed. Today, we reclaim not only our palace, but our pride, our trust, and our hope. The citizens responded with quiet cheers, their spirits lifted. The human presence in the room drew curious glances, but Marcus stood confidently, showing no fear. The queen motioned toward him. This human, Captain Marcus Kane, has proven that courage is universal. Humans may be far from their homeworld, yet their spirit can protect and inspire even in the heart of our empire. Marcus stepped forward. I'm honored, he said simply, but it's your people's courage that made the difference. Humans can help, yes, but we also learn. Together, we are stronger. Livara smiled, seeing the wisdom in his words. Perhaps the galaxy needed more alliances like this, where courage, ingenuity, and loyalty crossed the boundaries of species. The queen had always believed in the potential of her people, but now she realized that greatness could be multiplied when different minds worked together. The resistance members who had hidden in the tunnels were brought to the palace. Marcus watched as former servants, engineers, and loyal citizens were honored for their bravery. The humans' presence had given them courage, but their own actions had been essential. Humans could inspire, yes, but heroism was universal. That afternoon, the queen and Marcus walked through the restored palace gardens. The energy fountains sparkled, alien flowers swayed gently, and the city beyond hummed with renewed life. Marcus glanced at the city, thinking about the challenges ahead. Even though the palace was safe and the traitors captured, rebuilding trust and ensuring long-term peace would require constant effort. You've done something incredible here, Marcus said. You've taken a shaken city, rallied your people, and turned chaos into hope. Humans could only play a small part. Livara shook her head. You played more than a small part, Captain. You reminded us that courage can come from anywhere, and that innovation and quick thinking can change outcomes. Your presence saved lives and inspired my people. That is no small thing. Marcus smiled faintly. Then perhaps humans and Teleri can work together more often. There's a lot we can learn from each other. Livara's expression grew thoughtful. Yes, the Empire will benefit from your insight and adaptability. Humans have qualities we rarely see: resilience, cleverness, and fearlessness in the face of the unexpected. With your guidance and our knowledge, we can prevent future betrayals and grow stronger than ever. That evening, the queen held a ceremonial gathering in the main plaza. Citizens of all ages came to witness the restored order. Livara addressed them, her voice carrying clearly across the square. Today, we have seen that courage, loyalty, and intelligence can overcome the greatest betrayal. We have learned that strength comes not only from power but from unity. Human courage has shown us that heroism is not limited to one species. Together, we are unstoppable. The crowd erupted in cheers. Marcus stood beside the queen, observing the response. He felt a surge of pride not for himself, but for the people who had acted together, combining their talents to protect their city. As the celebration continued, Marcus and Livara spoke privately. "You've changed how I see humans," the queen said. "I never expected one of your kind to play such a pivotal role in the fate of my empire. Your courage, creativity, and determination are extraordinary." Marcus nodded. "And I've learned that bravery isn't limited to humans. Your people fought alongside me with courage, loyalty, and intelligence. That's what made this possible." Livara smiled. "Then let us ensure that humans are always welcome here. Let this city, this empire, become a place where courage and collaboration can thrive, where we learn from one another. And never underestimate the power of determination and unity." Marcus agreed. "I'll do everything I can to help. Humans and Zeleri together. There's nothing we cannot achieve." Over the following days, the queen worked to rebuild trust throughout the city. Citizens who had been afraid to act now came forward, inspired by Marcus and the resistance. Systems were strengthened, defenses improved, and communication with loyal regions of the empire increased. Marcus advised on strategy, helping adapt human tactics to Zeleri technology and traditions. The alliance grew stronger each day. The queen saw firsthand how human ingenuity complemented Zeleri knowledge. They planned ways to prevent future betrayals, trained loyal citizens in new tactics, and shared resources to ensure long-term stability. Marcus worked tirelessly alongside the queen, becoming not only a protector but a trusted advisor. One evening, as the sun set across the horizon, Marcus and Livara stood on the palace balcony once more. The city shimmered below, alive with energy and hope. "It's amazing," Marcus said quietly. "All this after everything that happened, it's still possible to rebuild." Livara nodded. "Yes, and we have learned something important. Courage, loyalty, and creativity, these are qualities that can transcend worlds. You have reminded us that even in the darkest times, hope and determination can prevail." Marcus smiled. "Then let's make sure that hope never fades. Together, humans and Zeleri can face whatever comes next." The queen looked at him, admiration and trust shining in her eyes. "Yes, together. And perhaps, in the years to come, your kind will teach my empire to be stronger, wiser, and more adaptable. The galaxy will see the strength of this alliance." As night fell, the twin moons rose over the city, casting a gentle glow across the palace and streets. The queen and the human soldier stood side by side, watching the city that had survived treachery. Thanks to courage, intelligence, and unity from Marcus Kane, it was a moment of quiet triumph. Humans, often underestimated across the stars, had proven their value once again. They could inspire, protect, and lead, sometimes in ways even the most advanced civilizations could not predict. And for Queen Livara, it was a moment of renewed faith in her empire and in life itself. Betrayal had tested her, but courage had saved her. And in the courage of one human, she had found a partner, a friend, and a symbol of hope for the future. The empire had endured. The city had survived. And a new alliance, human and Zeleri, had been forged in the fires of challenge, ready to face whatever the galaxy might bring. The future was bright, the bond strong, and the story of courage, loyalty, and hope had only just begun.